The end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, I want to talk about Office Depot and Staples and how that merger is going to affect the Document Imaging channel in a way they're probably not prepared for. Now, I know that Office Depot, sent a letter over to Sycamore Partners saying, well, we're thinking about this, but we don't like the way you're presenting it, so they're just going to go back and forth a little bit. But the FTC will approve this. It will happen. And ladies and gentlemen, the Document Imaging channel, I want you to pay attention to this. When Office Depot and Staples come together, that represents $24 billion. $24 billion. $24 billion, my friends. That's about $5-6 billion bigger than HP Print. They will be a contender. Now, of course, there's a $2 or $3 million dealership that's probably going to put in the comments of this video how Staples and Office Depot suck and how they don't give good service. And if the customer calls up and they need toner on Christmas morning, the people at Staples, they're going to be closed. They're surely not going to answer their cell phone and then run a bottle of toner out to the customer. No, they won't do that. Because $24 billion companies don't do that kind of stupid stuff. They leave that for people that want to make no money. The reality of it is, my friends, we're talking about sub $300-400 printers. And our friends over at Staples have sold millions of dollars worth of printers to the Document Imaging channel's customers. All the Document Imaging channel's customers that went home to work, that wanted to replace their printer, they didn't buy them from the Document Imaging channel. Oh, a couple of you might have sold some here or there. Might have got excited because you put 50 machines out for $30 a month at someone's house. Of course, now they're going to be all picked up because people realize how stupid that is. But the reality of it is they're going to the website and they're clicking buy now. And they're buying these things. I mean, they're buying them. They're buying all kinds of things. HP just did an agreement with Staples. How big do you think that agreement's going to be when they're all one company? HP running around trying to get dealers. They got that huge contract a lot of dealers don't like. And in the meantime, they're selling your customers hundreds of millions of dollars worth of printers. And you don't even know it. You're not even playing in the game because you refuse to have e-commerce. You spent the last year trying to figure out how to replace a DCA tool. Thankfully, a lot of you have given up on the new ERP system for the imaging channel. I believe there's probably more people leaving that new ERP system, going back to eAutomate, than are actually going on the new ERP system at this point. But the bottom line is we're wasting a whole lot of time, and we've wasted a whole lot of time. We've wasted a whole lot of time trying to drag this A3 business model with 5-year leases and premature upgrades and drag that business model into people's houses, into remote workspace, all around print. I mean, there's a lot of plays for the remote worker. It sure as hell isn't around print. The play around print is to put on your website a place they can go click buy now. That's what it's about, folks. Build a program. They can click buy now. You can provide them toner. You could buy toner from Clover Imaging as an example and ink. Give them huge discounts. Give them a place to click buy now. They'll do it, my friends. Your customers aren't stupid. They don't need you to hold their hand to buy a $300 printer. Are you crazy? I mean, you could buy a car online and have it delivered. I mean, you can't. What are you thinking? Well, I tell you what you're thinking. You're thinking that you got to keep it the way it is or you're not going to make any money. Well, if you try to deliver it in their house the way you deliver it in their office, well, you're not going to make any money because you're not going to execute the deal. If you figure out a way to do it minus salespeople, if you figure out a way to do it through maybe service platforms, if you figure out a way to do it where they can just do it themselves, you'll do just fine. Obviously, Staples, Office Depot coming together is a $24 billion business. A lot of that business is done online. So ladies and gentlemen, can we not continue with the time that we have left through this crazy pandemic with pure insanity? Could we not start looking outside the box? Could we not start talking to different people? MPS in houses is nuts. MPS in small business is nuts. The hopes of the $50 billion in MPS business by the year 2025 has evaporated. People are going to buy A4 equipment. And the question that every single person in the Document Imaging channel has to answer, you answer this question. When do you believe those manufacturers are going to make really, really stand-up nice A4s that a customer can pull out of the box like I talked about on another video and hit start? Plug it in and hit start. That day's coming. As end users continue to rely less and less on print equipment, if the Document Imaging channel doesn't start pivoting, doesn't start transitioning to other services, and start figuring out a way to deliver that print they want at a cost they can live with so they can actually make profit, they're not going to make it. Now, I realize some of the $2 or $3 million dealerships can go out there and continue to overspec and oversell A3s. You can always find 1 or 2 customers to sell a month. But the business, the industry, the world, if you will, of the document imaging channel isn't going to be able to satisfy the coffers the way they did in the year 2000 or 1990 by continuing to do the same things they were doing in the year 2000 and 1990. And I will say this, I'm super excited about my friends in the document imaging channel that are pivoting, that are transitioning. I'm starting to read a lot of great blogs around IT services, around security services. I'm starting to see some real interaction with end users in much deeper relationships. It's so refreshing. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to sell the print, but you got to stop focusing on it. You got to stop figuring out how you're going to get into customers' offices through a print window and start expanding your horizons. Talk to different people. Join different associations. Go into the future, in the year 2025, it's not going to be about managed print services. It's going to be about managed technology services. Isn't it about time we got there in our minds and quit chasing all this silliness? I'm going to end my time the way I always do. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.